Well, thank you for joining us today on Managing Midlife with yours truly, Dr. Patty. And today we have our featured guest joining us from the American Heart Association. And we're going to be talking about women's heart health. February has been identified as American Heart Month, and this is a time to learn about your risk for heart disease and stroke, and for you to find out more ways in which you can stay heart healthy. And so today I have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Sloan Garner. She is the Regional Vice President of Communications and Marketing in the North Carolina Triangle region. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Triangle, that's what we call Raleigh, Durham, and the Chapel Hill area. Sloan has been with the American Heart Association for 19 years, and she has a passion for the life-saving mission of the American Heart Association, which is to build healthier lives free from heart disease and stroke. And she's been involved with the Go Red for Women movement since it began 11 years ago. And so, Sloan, I want to welcome you to our show today and thank you certainly for taking out the time from your busy schedule to share a little bit about Heart Health Month with our audience today.
Sure. Well, thank you, Dr. Patty. It's great to be with you guys, and it's such an important topic. I'm always happy to share more information and let people know how they can protect themselves and their hearts.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the Go Red campaign for women. I'm familiar with it, and I've participated probably in the campaign for a number of years now through church.
Great.
And so you know, heart disease is in my family, and so I want women to get more information and know just what is it all about. It's not just wearing a red dress, but what is it all about?
Yeah, so the American Heart Association began the Go Red for Women movement, the national movement, to end heart disease and stroke in women because it's really not just a man's disease. I think that's a myth that a lot of people assume that heart disease only happens to men, to older people, but that's not the truth. And they did some research many years ago and found that women just did not realize that heart disease was the number one health threat for them. So they created Go Red for Women in order to reach more women, let them know what the risk factors are, how you can prevent it, and also take advantage of that great network that we as women have to talk to each other, share information, and really get the word out that you can do something about heart disease, and you've got to get started with what you can do to make sure that you have a healthy heart.
So in terms of statistics, how many women first of all, how many women are affected? Because there's a specific statistic that speaks to that. And then how many women die each year from heart disease when they don't have to?
That's right. So there are thousands of women that are affected. And, for instance, here in North Carolina, we don't actually know exactly how many women are living with heart disease, but we do know how many people die of heart disease. So across the country, you're looking at over 200,000 women a year that die of heart attack alone.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge statistic. And the one that always gets me is 1 in 3 women will die of heart disease. So when you look at, 3 women when you're sitting around with your girlfriends or at church or your family, and you look at 3 women around you, one of them is going to be affected and die from heart disease. And that's a pretty stark statistic. And it actually kills more people than the next 5 causes of death combined. So it is definitely such a prevalent issue that you've got to be aware. You've got to know what to do about it.
Even in reading some of the information on the research, even more so than cancer. And a lot of people think that cancer is number one, but it's heart disease that's ranking up there as the number one killer because of what you said. A lot of people it's undocumented, or they just don't know. They don't know. And so when we talk about not knowing, is that the reason why sometimes heart disease is sometimes referred to as the silent killer? Because I've heard that say that heart disease is a silent killer.
Yeah, there are a couple of reasons for that. One is we know that about 64% of women who die suddenly, they have a sudden cardiac arrest, don't have any symptoms previously. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is that we're busy people. We're taking care of our families. We have careers. We're taking care of spouses. A lot of times,
yes.
aging parents. We have so much going on, right? And so
yes.
we're so used to, having a feeling, or just, you're sick or you're not feeling great, and you just kind of blow right past that because you've got a lot going on. So we always tell women you've got to really stop and pay attention to what your body is telling you. And if something doesn't feel right, particularly if you have something that persists, you really have to stop and see your doctor, take care of yourself, because it could be heart disease. And also, part of the risk factors for heart disease is high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And that is often called the silent killer because it has no symptoms.
Right.
So that's one of those ones that really sneak up on people. People don't realize it until maybe they visit their doctor and they're, getting high blood pressure readings and then find out. But also so many women don't visit their doctor. They might see an OBGYN, but they don't have that annual checkup, which is so important to kind of get the baseline of where you're at with all of your health factors.
Right, absolutely. And just from our listening audience, a lot of our women, we speak to an audience that ranges from 35 to 55. So many of the women in that age group may be susceptible to heart disease. They may be at risk. And then menopausal women also face risk factors in terms of heart disease. So, that's something else to, to consider in terms of prevention. As you indicated, go to the doctor, get your checkups. We know how to go and get our mammograms. We know how to go get our bone density test. And so this is also a very critical and very important, and it can be prevented. There are ways in which if we just did some prevention that could help us to live a little bit longer and maybe to continue to do all those things that you just talked about that we do all the time, and we push ourselves to do it. So in terms of prevention, what are some of the tools that women can utilize to sustain or to promote healthy heart health with themselves and or to help others that are around them?
Right. So the first thing is to be aware, to know that heart disease could be an issue for you. One of the things we always tell people is to talk to your family. You have a family health history. So if you're at a reunion or a family gathering, have that conversation and know if heart disease and stroke have affected your family members. A lot of women assume that if the men in their family, a father, a brother, a grandfather, have had heart disease, that it won't affect them. But if you have men in your family who have previous heart disease or stroke, then that puts you at a higher risk. If you're African American or Hispanic, that also puts you at a higher risk. You talked about going to the doctor. It's so important to have a relationship with your doctor, to have that annual checkup, to have your blood pressure checked, to know your cholesterol and your glucose numbers. Diabetes is a big risk factor for heart disease, and that has also been called a silent killer. A lot of people live with diabetes until it's kind of too late. And then just being aware of certain things that you can do in your lifestyle. So if you smoke, definitely stop smoking, and there are great resources out there to help you do that. Watch your weight. Stay physically active and eat healthy. And when we say stay physically active and eat healthy, we don't mean you have to run a marathon or, eat nothing but, chicken breast.
Vegetables.
But make sure that you're getting moving, and that can be as easy as taking the stairs versus the elevator, parking far away at the mall and walking, and then incorporating fruits and veggies and healthy foods into your diet. We always say you can make small steps. Start small, and then all those will add up to a healthier lifestyle. You can also teach your family, make it a family affair and bring them into creating healthy meals. Make it a habit to take a walk after you have dinner together. So there are lots of little things that you can do to help prevent heart disease.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm writing down all of these things and just listening to, as you're providing this information and to our audience. This is not new information. We've heard it before, but it's all of these things contribute to good heart health and to having your in terms of being diabetic, or in terms of high cholesterol, or in terms of high blood pressure. These are all mechanisms in which you can utilize to manage your health better. And it's just a matter of making a decision that I'm going to do better. And as Sloan has indicated, it doesn't have to be a drastic overnight change. As many of you know, one of the things I have on my website is just the Keep It Moving movement. Getting movement, getting active in your lifestyle. I always use the example of, think about when you were a kid and you had recess, or you went to the park, or you rode your bike, or you did jump rope, and as simple as something as Sloan has indicated, of just, take that walk, in the evening, or after a meal, or after lunch, or, utilize that time in a number of ways, and in terms of, that may be family time where you go and you take the walk, or you take the kids to the park, or you do some of those things, or that may be time to blow off some steam or get some stress off of you, and at the same time you're helping to promote heart health, and talking with your family is very important. I find that if we know and talk to our family members and understand what is running in our family, then it can help us to know what to tell the doctor in terms of our family health history. So all excellent ways in which you can help with prevention and with living, adding more years to your life. So, Sloan, how can the community at large get involved to create more awareness about heart disease?
Sure. Well, one of the ways is coming up very soon. So the first Friday in February every year is National Wear Red Day, and that's a day where we ask people across the country to wear red and help support and let people know that you are supporting heart health awareness. So we ask people to wear red on that day, and you can take a picture and send it to our website. We have a Facebook page for the Triangle. It's facebook.com Triangle AHA, and then you can also go to goredforwomen.org. Those are great places to get more information. And we have Heart Association offices all across the state, all across the country, so there's going to be one near you. So get in touch with them, because we all have events, health screenings, all kinds of great things that you can get involved in to find out more about your own personal health, and then also lots of volunteer opportunities across the state and across the country, too, that you can get involved.
Absolutely. And then there's the unveiling. Don't forget that part. I think it's the unveiling of I think it's February 12th, that they're going to be unveiling the dress line. I know it's something with Macy's where they're going to be unveiling the dress line.
Yes, Macy's is a big national sponsor for Go Red for Women, and they've been with us from the very beginning, and in fact have donated over $50 million to the cause for research. That is specific to women and heart disease, which is pretty incredible. And so on February 12th, there's going to be a live stream of the Red Dress Fashion Show. So that's going to be online, and you can find that at goredforwomen.org. And I think a lot of the entertainment shows will be featuring that, and you'll see it online. But celebrities will be wearing red dresses from designers, and it's pretty exciting, and it really helps kind of elevate and get people really involved. And red, we chose red specifically for Go Red for Women, because red is a color of power and passion. So wanted to create that excitement and create that empowerment, for women to recognize that this is something that could really be an issue in their lives, and that you can take charge of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in wrapping up, It's important that you, one, know your risk, ladies, that you, begin to incorporate healthier lifestyles, and then, get involved. And the last thing is share your story. And these are all things that are available and information that's available and accessible on the Go Red for Women website. So in terms of, and we'll put this information up on our screen, in terms of our viewing audience, just to repeat again, more information on how they can get in contact with the American Heart Association. What is the website, and what is the Facebook or page or Twitter handle as well, where they can go to?
So you can go to goredforwomen.org or heart.org, HEART.org. For more information, you can call 1-888-MY-HEART. And then there are American Heart Association offices all across the state and the country that you can find locally. And then here in the Triangle, we're at facebook.com/TriangleAHA. And when you're out there tweeting and posting information, you can use #GoRed.
Got it. #GoRed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sloan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. This information has been so helpful and so informative. Ladies, I could have told it to you, but I wanted you to hear it directly from Sloan, because this is what she does all day, every day, and this is her passion. And it's to help women and to reach out to the community, and more importantly, to save lives. So go to the website, pick up the phone, make the call, have the conversation at lunch, have the conversation in your small groups at your church. Let's talk about it. Let's create awareness. And let's not just create awareness, lady. Let's do something about it. Let's motivate each other so that we can be healthier, we can raise our families, we can be better models for our children, and more importantly, we can stomp out this disease that's killing hundreds of thousands of people across this nation and around the world. So thank you so much, Sloan. I really appreciate everything that you have done and given us today, this information. I can't even put a value on it because it's just life-saving and life-changing.